Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday, the 11th of April to Friday, the 15th of April, 2022. My name is Vishal, and I'm going to be doing this market view for this week with respect to certain stocks, indices, and sectors. So let's dive down deep into the charts and let's go through some of the stocks and sectors. All right, so let's start off first and foremost with the Nifty. So let's go to the Nifty chart. And let's start with the monthly chart. As you can see on the monthly chart, we have this monthly demand zone which is still holding, and prices are strongly bouncing from this area over here. Let's put this over here. So 15,881 to 15,232, and there are no signs of sell-off as of now. We do have these candles over here which are showing a little bit of a sell-off at these areas, but the sell-off is not very significant. So right now the monthly chart is showing a little bit of a bullish to consolidation mode on the Nifty. If you look at the weekly chart, on the weekly chart we have hit this area. We call this as a pivot, and here we have something which is called as an indecision candle. Usually when the indecision candle is created on the chart, there is some kind of a potential reversal in the market. But will this indecision candle, more or less create this reversal, and will the markets turning down, or begin to start to turn down, is only time will tell that. So let us see whether that happens in the coming week. And if you look at our daily chart, we are already being able to see a little bit of weakness. Even in fact today, the markets haven't done anything much, and since the past couple of days, the markets have just been range bound. So the critical area for the market right now will be a high above 17,850 and the low point, which is around 17,600. If price does happen to breach this area on a closing basis, then we might see more weakness coming into the market. But if the price continues to trade above this area, which is 17,850, then we might see some bullishness coming into the market. So we'll have to just keep a close watch on this consolidation. And usually when the market consolidates for maybe a couple of days, the market just doesn't remain in the range for many days. It tends to either give a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. The Nifty volatility is currently fairly priced. So this at this juncture, the premiums in the options are fairly valued. They are not very cheap. They are not very expensive. So just got to be a little careful for people who are actually just going out there and buying options, or people who are just going out there and selling options. Maybe it will be a good idea to get into some kind of a spread, just to hedge your position, as the option premiums are not very expensive at this point. Let's look at Nifty Bank, and let's start analyzing this based on the monthly chart of the Nifty Bank. So if you look at the Nifty Bank, again, very similar picture to the Nifty. Price is holding on to this level of demand, consolidating and trying to show a sign that it wants to move up. However, there is some kind of a supply which is probably coming out of there on the daily and the weekly time frames, which is not allowing the market to move significantly to the upside. If we look at the weekly chart, on the weekly chart also we are seeing a little bit of a indecision coming in, just like how we had the Nifty showing us indecision. We have this doji candle which is also showing us an indecision. And there are two things that can happen here in this scenario. If you just closely observe, when this doji candle is actually created, we can see that the market might consolidate for a bit and then move down, or the market can just consolidate and then start moving up. So it'll be interesting to see what the market direction is for the coming week. But right now it's a little bit in a consolidation phase as such. Let's move on to the daily chart. And on the daily chart also, although the Nifty after the HDFC Bank and HDFC merger news significantly rallied, but after that it has taken a big pause in the market. And that is also because that price is reacting to this area of supply over here. So you can see that price has reacted to this supply, come down, and again begin to consolidate. So again, there are a couple of aspects to look at if we just draw two horizontal lines across this consolidation. And this is the daily chart. So this is approximately 4 days of trading. So 37,944 to the upside and 37,307 to the downside are going to be key levels. And if there is a breakout at any of these levels, the market can either do something like just break out and then just do this, or then just break down and continue its move down. So it'll be interesting to see what the market direction is in the coming week. The option premiums again are fairly priced on the bank nifty also, so they are neither cheap nor expensive. At least this is what is indicated by the implied volatility gauge over here with respect to options. Let's look at USD INR, because the USD INR should be giving us a more clearer picture of where the market is likely to go. And if we look at the monthly chart of the USD INR, again, the USD INR, after breaching and making a new all-time high, has been struggling to close or trade above this 76.95 handle, right? But it is still showing some kind of a consolidation and a bullish move. Now, of course, this is the monthly candle, and this candle will close on the last day of this month. So still quite a few days to go to decide what's happening. But if you look at the weekly chart, right now what we are seeing on the weekly is the exact inverse picture, right? So we had this doji candle on the nifty and the bank nifty, and on the USD INR we have the exact doji candle, but this is in the context with the demand, right? So if the market does happen to reverse, it might start to move up again. Of course, there is a small hurdle here for the USD INR, and it needs to breach that hurdle before it starts moving further up, right? So again, the direction for the USD INR could be that market could just hit this supply and begin to consolidate and start to fall, or market could just go up and continue making new highs, which in that case, if that happens, then that will bring our indices a little bit lower or in a corrective mode. On the daily chart, not a very clear picture. We are within this daily area of supply, but again, very similar to the nifty, a lot of indecision, and more or less this indecision is just based on these three candles over here. So again, the breakout traders might anticipate and expect to see a breakout on the USD INR if the price of 76.07 handle breaks to the upside, or if the candle breaks to the downside, then this is likely to happen. So again, a little bit of indecision, and right now this consolidation might tend to either continue or to break eventually as the days go by. Let's move on to the sector of the week. We have the Nifty PSU Bank sector, and let's look at this sector on the monthly chart. So if we look at the monthly chart of this sector, this has been a little bit of a sector which has been in a downtrend, and now the sector has pretty much rallied, but it has come and halted into this monthly supply zone here, right? And if you look at the weekly chart as well, very similarly, there is this weekly level of supply also, which is preceded or followed by a gap down, and this is where the market or the sector has taken a pause. So we just got to be a little careful, because we have Nifty and Bank Nifty also at supply, and we have PSU Bank's sector also at supply, right? So generally, when everything lines up and everything is in supply, then we are expected to see the potential market turning to the downside. All right. Taking that into consideration, we have a stock that we can possibly discuss, and that is State Bank of India. So let's have a quick look at State Bank of India. Compared to the PSU Bank, this stock has been relatively very, very strong. And if you look at the monthly chart, it has taken a nice support at this 433 odd level and holding on to this level nicely. We are in a little bit of an interim supply right now, but I don't see this supply holding. And I'm hoping that this supply will eventually break, and markets will continue this move to the upside. The only negative aspect of this stock is that if the PSU Bank begins to correct, then we might see a correction coming in State Bank of India. Now, eventually, if that does happen, then we do have a good level of demand on the 30 minutes, and we expect the price of State Bank of India to come into that level of demand. And that level of demand is located right here. So let me just mark it for you guys. So if the price does come into this area, and we also have a round number which is 500, so 499 to 496 is going to be a level to watch out for. And if price does come into this area, we are expecting SBI to go and start bouncing and move to the upside. So this correction is likely to give us an opportunity to enter State Bank of India towards the long side. So this is all from me. I'm signing off, and I will see you same time, same place next week. Till then, take care, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.
We do not give any recommendations or financial advice. We request that the investors please consult their financial advisors or do their own research before investing.